This is All Things Caregiving from Breathing Spaces.
Hi, my name is Cindy Mariner. I am the founder of Breathing Spaces. Welcome to an all new episode of All Things Caregiving. I am really excited to be here today with my co host, Cindy Gum.
Hi.
And we have a very special guest with us today that Cindy and I have both really been looking forward to speaking with. I would like to introduce to you Brandee Duncan. Brandee is a practicing RN. She's also a certified nurse coach. So, Brandee, as our first professional in the business, I am welcoming you with open arms to our audience here today. So good. Um, Brandee, I also know that you have been a family caregiver as well. So what you bring to our audience today, I think is going to be absolutely invaluable. So I can't thank you enough for being
Thank
here.
you. Thanks for having me. I'm
Uh,
excited to be here.
yeah, good. So Brandee, tell us, we had a little opportunity to chat before we started talking here today. What do you see as probably the biggest health challenge in healthcare today as far as nurses and what they're doing? I'd also like for you to, as well, obviously, tell us a little bit more about what you're doing. But if you could just start us off with that, what you see the biggest challenge, I'd love that.
Well, there's so many challenges in the healthcare today. We are in such a big change, state of change. It's just crazy. But I see the biggest challenge for nurses that are new and who are experienced as being caregiving for themselves. I think it's just kind of like a conditioning. The more that you give to everyone else, that people like praise that to a certain extent.
Mm,
And so you're just going, okay, I just give more and more. And I think that comes from women as well. Not to exclude men at all, but it's always like we get so much more praise if we're giving every part of ourselves. And actually, we shouldn't be getting praise for that. We should actually be getting praise for going, hey, I need to take a rest. I need to take care of myself emotionally, spiritually, mentally. And that should really come first. And I think nurses in general and caregivers, as I was talking earlier, as far as like caregiving for my parents,
right.
you just tend to put the people you're caring for very first, and we should be very first on the list. Otherwise, we really just can't do the best job. And we deserve it. We deserve to have our emotional selves taken care of, and spiritual and physical and nutritional, because without us taking care of our own selves, then we're just depleted and we're not able to care for anyone else.
Absolutely agree. So, Brandy, it's really I don't want to say it's good, but you're absolutely speaking right at the pain point of what professionals go through. And I know that part of what you're doing right now is coaching for folks in this position. Tell us a little bit more about what that looks like, what your intention is, and just give us a little bit more background on what you're doing there.
Well, coaching, I feel like is so individual. So I really try to just do like a little 30-minute discovery call with whoever I talk with, see if we're a good fit. But mostly it's about identifying the areas that you're not getting balance in when you are, or areas that you're seeking someone that has experience. Because after 31 years I've really been through a lot of things in the healthcare profession, not only just choosing different areas of nursing, not only dealing with the daily grind of, you have bad things happen at work, and coming home and really dealing with that, seeing people go through a lot of pain in their lives and really trying not to absorb that completely. So um it's such a big realm for me, but it's really kind of about getting nurses through crossroads. Like if they're having a crossroad of, I don't feel like I want to do this anymore, or having a crossroad of, I'm not even taking care of myself. My exercise and nutrition are totally out of whack. I am not happy with my appearance and how I'm feeling, and that's just bleeding off into everything else. Or maybe just I'm just lacking the drive to just get back to work and care for the humans that I care for. And I don't want to be that way. I want to feel re-energized. And so I want to meet people at that place and get them through those crossroads to where they can really, I feel, caring for themselves first and identifying the areas that you can, make adjustments and then helping them to move forward with a little plan.
I can only, I know in my caregiving days, um, seeing nurses, doctors, what they go through on a daily basis. And I can't imagine the amount that you absorb on a daily basis. I mean,
Hmm.
I said this to you before. I truly honor you and what you do. I honor everyone in this position because it's so much. You've got the families that are falling apart because their loved one is ill. You've got the patient who may be in a state of shock over, how did my life shift like this?
Yes.
There's so many different levels, and then you got maybe the doctor who wasn't that nice today in the middle of all of it,
Yeah,
right? I hate to pick on
absolutely.
doctors like that, but we all have our moments. So I can only
Or colleagues,
imagine.
I mean, it can be anything. And doctors are our colleagues and nurses are our colleagues, so it's just that can happen because of stresses in your job too.
Mhm. Mhm.
What are you seeing in the younger nurses? I'm wondering because you must see young nurses just out of school and
Mhm.
they haven't had the stress buildup yet, but yet they come in, with a beginner's mind, so to speak. How, I'm just curious, the nurses that come to you, are they generally anywhere in that continuum from brand new, or are you seeing more of the nurses that just can't take the grind anymore? They
Mhm.
get worn out and worn down. And I'm wondering what the challenges are for some of the younger, newer nurses versus some of the ones in the middle and toward the latter stage. And you don't want them to quit because we need you guys so much
Oh
more
my
than
gosh.
ever.
And that is so true. And that is one of the big reasons why I chose this portion to do nurse coaching with. And that is because I really want new nurses to preserve. I get nervous because 1 in 2 nurses is quitting within their first 2 years of nursing.
No, really.
Yeah.
Wow, I had
And
no idea it was that high.
especially right after COVID, I don't know the exact statistic now, but I mean, it's just very difficult. For one thing, nursing, as all caregiving is, I mean, I will speak to that. It's a hard job. It is not easy because you give everything, your emotions, your empathy, your love, your understanding, especially if you're really a committed nurse and you're in the right profession. Well, you just do that naturally. And so it's just these new nurses that are getting out there. I think the biggest thing is they don't realize how tough it is in the first 2 years.
How to hold what they have to hold
Yeah,
is what I'm
quite
hearing.
honestly, even every nurse that you talk to, the first 2 years are the toughest. They're
Mm.
very hard. You go from reading these textbooks to not even being able to touch a patient to you're thrown into this world of I've got to talk to doctors. I've got to know what I'm doing. There's all these skills that I don't know, and I'm having to, it's super tough. And you got to have good mentors out there to help you. And hopefully you're getting those, but I just want to come alongside them, even if it's just like for one session or two sessions to just say, hey, what's going on? And I think just offer encouragement to them and also solutions, which, like I said, after 31 years, I feel like I have so much to offer in that standpoint to help to lift them up and hopefully have them move forward. And that could be through choosing a different area of nursing. There's so many different areas of nursing. That could be through self-care, like you've got to put yourself first. I would just like to instill that in our new nurses because it's something that hasn't been instilled for many, many years in nursing. You just have so many nurses that do not put priority on exercise, nutrition, spiritual, emotional health. They give that to everyone else. So I think just instilling that hopefully and coming alongside of them whenever they have all these challenges, just from textbook into real world nursing, very difficult. It's challenging. But
Mhm.
we have so many amazing young nurses out there. I just want them to stay in the profession because it is a very rewarding profession. I
Mhm.
think it's an amazing profession and I believe in it and I sure hope that people will continue forward in it. So I want to help them get over those bumps.
Mhm.
I can only imagine. Now, when you're going through schooling, to learn this, becoming a nurse, do they
Uh-huh.
talk about the emotional side of it? Is that
Not when I was in nursing school. I mean,
really?
we just never had that. You don't, I mean, there's some doctor programs now, some of the physician programs that I think started to do this, started to teach, emotional and mental and, health well-being. But it should be a big part of the medical field as far as practice goes because it's a huge need, you know?
Mhm.
Are you talking mostly with hospital nurses? When you were talking earlier, I thought, yeah, maybe one of your nurses is just needing to adjust. Maybe she shouldn't really be in the hospital environment, but there's so many
Yeah.
different settings. And I'm thinking, yeah, can you talk to that?
Well, I think that nursing is so broad. That's what I love about it. You can do so many things. You can do bedside nursing, you can do aesthetic nursing, you can do management, you can do psych nursing, you can do consulting, all of these different things. So I feel like when someone becomes very frustrated with the area that they're in and overwhelmed, there's lots of exploration that can take place at that point. Like, what's your loves? Like, what motivates you? What do you think when you came into nursing? What do you want to do? How did you want to change the world, really? Because I
Mhm.
think most nurses come in thinking, hey, we want to have an impact on people and their well-being, So I think it's exploring that and maybe finding a better fit if that was the instance that they're feeling really frustrated.
Yeah, I think about what we give to that we get back from. In
Hmm.
other words, we give to certain things that where I say we get paid, it's not necessarily money, but it's in satisfaction and feeling like we're making a difference. And I think nurses are kind of hardwired for this. I think
Yes.
two, the three of us here,
Yes, absolutely.
we want to caregive and help other people just intuitively and naturally, and how important it is to recognize that all of us are also we need to prioritize as much the caregiving we give to ourselves. And so
Absolutely.
easy for young, especially younger people coming on board, they're just filled with this wanting to give, and yet they begin to, if they're not situated maybe in the right fit, they're going
Hmm.
to leave instead of say, no, look around and find a better fit so they
Hmm.
can give and get back.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And I just think it's a core problem with all caregivers is that self-care is so very important and it's okay. We don't have to feel guilty for it, and I think that is just a key. Jordan Peterson talks about it in one of his books. I won't get too long-winded on it, but it's about people who put such importance in caring for their animals and giving them their medications and all this stuff, but they don't see themselves as someone who needs to give their own medications and do exercise programs and take care of themselves. However, what happens is if the person passes, the dog doesn't have anyone to take care of them. I
Right.
mean, he brings this up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's just so profound because it is I feel like as we go on in the medical field, like we're losing nurses because and caregivers find all these challenges too, but you you feel guilty for taking care of yourself and making yourself a priority, but it's actually what is best for the patient and it's best for the profession, it's best for family members, because if you deplete yourself, you just you can't keep going like that. You can't move
Mm-mm.
forward.
Mm-mm. And I'm so glad that you brought that up because truly at the root of this, whether it's family caregivers or professionals,
Yes.
you've got this human being, y'all,
Yes.
that you're taking care of.
Yeah.
And that person can feel your vibe. That
Mhm.
person knows that you came in because you're depleted. You've got a family at home, your child was sick, you've just been through 55 emergencies before you got to this patient. They feel that vibe.
For sure.
So it's being able to pull up this energy from somewhere else to be able to keep going in a more positive way. And I can imagine, because you go into this profession because you want to give, right? You want to be able to take care of people. And as a family caregiver, you want to take care of that loved
Yes.
one. And it's so easy to forget that if you're not coming in 100%. If I walk into this conversation with the two of you not 100%, you're going to feel it. You'll
Mhm.
feel it, the audience will feel it. It's the same thing. I mean, it's not the same thing, for heaven's sakes. It's nowhere near the same level. But we all as humans really need to understand that taking care of this vessel is the
Mhm.
best thing you can do in life, period.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's so
Yeah,
very important.
yeah.
Brandy, are the hospitals and the workplaces showing any support for this? Really, they need to retain their personnel. They need to retain their nurses. Are they making efforts to support people that need the support?
I think this is trending more now as, all things caregiving. I think that this this whole thought process of, hey, we need to start caring for our professionals. It's more trending.
Well,
I will
that's
say
nice to
that in
hear.
the last like 2 to 3 years I've seen.
Really.
So
Do you
that's
think?
good. I
Yeah.
mean, that is a good thing.
Yeah, I wonder if COVID made them more aware of some things like that. Who knows? But that's good to,
Unfortunately, probably losing so many nurses is
yeah.
and professionals is what's
Yes.
making them realize it. Hey, we need
Yeah,
retention.
that's right.
And how are we going to do that? Like,
Yeah.
it's just, there was such a loss after COVID.
Mhm.
And, just the burnout, there is just so much burnout. So, um, I think they're trying to really turn that around, which hopefully these programs and things like this are going to really help with that.
So I'm curious, how do people find you? How do the nurses that need support find someone like you?
Well, I'm actually in my website development right now, so in the next couple weeks I'm going to be having that up. But until then, they can contact me through my email, and that's under nursecoachbrandee@gmail.com. And so I just do individualized, people contact me, then I set up like a 30-minute discovery call and just see if it's something that is a great fit, because I really believe, that's important too. You got to know, is it someone that I can work with, and is it feasible? So always good to just kind of have a moment to chat and see if it would be something I can work with them.
Well,
Mhm.
I'm glad to hear you'll have a website because what you're doing is so important. I
Yeah.
can only imagine the nurses that need this kind of support, and the tools, like you said, you had tools. I'm just curious, can you think of one tool that has been, in particular helpful that would be maybe fun to share of interest to someone that might be listening today?
Well, I think the biggest tool that I have right now is actually just really meeting a person where they are and true listening
Yeah.
Mm, mm,
and just helping them to explore, you know, where they're coming from, what's going on that's making them feel like either they can't choose a direction or they're just at a crossroads and don't know what that means. I really feel that listening is so important, and I don't think that each person in this world really gets heard.
Oh, that's music to a therapist's ears.
yeah.
That is one of the most important things, and they're not listening to themselves. So that's where you start.
Yes.
Wow, beautiful,
Hmm.
beautiful.
Hmm.
Yeah.
We have to turn inward first.
Yeah.
Everyone does, and especially someone on the front lines like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I think that for us, listening to you it's been such a gift to hear from you and hear that other side of the story. And I think it's beneficial for our family caregiver audience to hear from you. There have been times, I'm sure all of us under tremendous emotional stress have wanted to just scream our lungs out either at the doctor or the nurse because are you paying attention to me right now?
Yeah.
And being able to have that moment to step back and take a breath in and realize that who you're talking to is a human being and you don't know what's going on underneath this layer.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that, and I vividly remember being in situations that I wanted to take a nurse's head off. But, you have to take that breath, stand back just for a second before you launch out at someone else because it's a human being you're talking to, right?
Absolutely. And I also, just to speak to that, I think as a nurse for 31 years, I realize that it's okay if I'm not encouraging people to lash out, but I understand when people have these feelings. And it's because of the frustrations and the challenges and the people who don't listen. And really, if you have a good nurse or a good physician, they really do understand that because I feel like family members, especially long-term caregivers, it's a lot. It's crazy. Caring for my parents was just something way more on another level than I've done all of these years. And it's because it's such a personal thing and you have so much more guilt involved in it because you feel so responsible and you feel like you can't take a break. And so anyway, I just want to say to your audience, as those who are caregiving, that you're a blessing to your family. You are absolutely doing a great job, and you should know that. And you should always try to take a break for yourself and don't feel guilty.
Hmm.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that we're coming up on time here. Cindy and I do this so often. I think we could just sit here and talk for another 2 hours.
Oh, for sure.
So easily. So we'd love to have you back again on another episode, but I can't possibly thank you enough for the insight that you've been able to give our other side of this business and what we do. So thank you, Brandee, from my heart
Thank you
for
so
being
much.
with
Thanks for
us.
having me. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah,
Thank you for being on what I call the front line.
yeah,
Well, it's a privilege. It's like I told you, it really is a privilege. It's been a privilege and blessing my whole life. And I want other nurses to feel that way too. And they do. They do. It just gets to the point of burning out at times. And so it's all about reigniting our fires, right?
yes,
I mean,
Cutting
that's what it's
edges.
about.
yeah, continuing the effort. Brandee, thank you. We are
Thank
very grateful to see you here today.
Thank you so much.
This has been All Things Caregiving from Breathing Spaces.